Hello, welcome back to Amateur Popcast. I'm your host, Attia, and with me here is...
Nico. I'm Nico.
Hi, Nico. How's it going?
Great.
So, Nico and we recently watched the Barbie movie together. And we were both, sitting in this theater, and we're just, bawling our little eyes out. How was that? How was sharing that experience for you with me?
Kind of shameful, because I don't want to cry in front of you. But it also, I feel closer to you.
Well, that was my second time watching the movie, and this time I already know when the sad scenes were gonna come, so I was crying before the scene had even started because I was like, oh my god, this is the part, spoiler alert, this is the part that she does the monologue about feminism. This is the part where we see her a dead creator, and I just started bawling my eyes out because I already knew what was about to come, and I was devastated. I'm like, oh my god, the Billie Eilish song is gonna play now, and I was already in a state that I was like, oh, I remember how awful that was in a good way and how sensitive I was when I first watched it. So I cried even harder the second time because I was pre-crying before the scene. I was crying during the scene. Right. And I was crying after the scene.
Oh my God. Well, the thing is, so Omer and I did the Barbenheimer weekend.
Oh, I still haven't seen Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer's pretty good, but basically we watched Oppenheimer the day before. So we watched it Saturday night, and then we watched Barbie Sunday morning. Mm-hmm. And so Oppenheimer, you walk out of it and you feel emotionally devastated. And how could you?
And you're like, oh, let me go watch Barbie and feel better.
It's going to be so funny, and Ryan Gosling is so funny, and it's going to be this lighthearted movie.
It's going to be lighthearted and pink and lovely, and there's music.
I also felt just as emotionally devastated.
The concept of both was death. So Barbie's concept was existentialism and death and, sexism and feminism, patriarchy. For sure.
But Oppenheimer, I was expecting that kind of stuff because what else could a movie about making the nuclear bomb
be about? Imagine if that was a sensual movie that you saw and then you come to Barbie and you're like,
oh my God,
what the hell is going on?
Anyway, so it was a very emotionally devastating weekend. I felt drained and there was no coming back from it and no hope for humanity.
I will agree. The day that I did watch Barbie the second time with you guys, the rest of the day I was just in my bed, curled up, and just thinking about life and how hard it is to be a woman, which I guess is cliche, but if you watch the movie, and it's really interesting because a lot of people criticize it for being too in the face, but I don't think it was too in the face. No, it was very funny. It was it had a lot of slapstick comedy. It had Ryan Gosling was a great distraction.
Amazing.
And even then, he still wasn't 2D. Ken still had a lot of...
You felt bad for Ken.
Yes. They were and the songs with him and Simu Liu, oh my God, so good.
And on it, two things I'm kind of happy about. One, Omer passed the litmus test, the Barbie test.
What was the litmus test?
So apparently a bunch of women are taking their boyfriends to go see Barbie, and then depending on how their boyfriend reacts, they stay with them or break up with them.
Oh!
Yeah, because if a guy gets upset about Barbie, dump him.
Oh,
and what's even funnier...
what is there to get upset about? It's a movie about a doll. And it's not that serious.
I agree. And the second thing, my favorite thing about this, is that Joe Rogan literally said the same thing you said. He saw Barbie, loved it. Mm-hmm. And not that I'm a massive Joe Rogan. I'm not a Joe Rogan fan at all. But I just love that these articles came out the one person you hate mate a good point. He made an excellent point.
Do you know who Ben Shapiro is?
Yes, he was ripping Barbie.
Yeah, the young guy that is always he's
been around for a very, very long time.
And but he's crazy. He says some crazy shit. But he went to watch Barbie, and he's like, my producer dragged me to come watch this movie, and I didn't even want to see it, but I'm here. But he was dressed exactly the way Ken was in the dance sequence with Simu Liu. I'm like, okay, down to the belt, please. Oh just say you wanted to watch Barbie. Why do we have to pretend that we're mad about a doll? Why are these people mad about it? Why is Candace Owen mad about a doll?
I don't know.
Get over it.
And we're the snowflakes. We're sensitive. We're emotional.
Also, why did you expect the movie that's named Barbie and it's all bang to be not about girls? I'm so confused. Anyways.
So my question is, as a feminist, we support women's rights, right?
Yeah, and sometimes they're wrongs, but...
That's what I was going to ask. But do we support their wrongs?
Depending on how wrong is the wrong, I'll support the wrong. Is it just I don't know. You have to give me examples. Sometimes I support women's wrong. I'm like, oh, that's not that serious. But sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe you shouldn't have done that. But don't do that again.
So let's think of two women in the public eye who have recently...
Not that we've gotten our feminism out of the way.
Yeah. Lizzo and Ariana Grande.
Yeah, there's a lot happening with both of those singers. So we're going to dive into... It's been a while since we've talked about celebrities, and it's been a while since... And this situation has been developing for a little bit. So I know that Lizzo has been called out by two of her dancers. I actually went to three of her dancers. And I went back to see my pictures from when I went to the Lizzo concert, and those three were in that show.
Yeah.
So anyway, so three of her dancers have come out against Lizzo and the company, saying that they were wrongfully dismissed.
So
okay.
Let's back it up.
Okay.
Right? So basically, they didn't just come out.
Mm-hmm.
They filed a lawsuit.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So they filed a lawsuit, three of the dancers. Two of them basically were fired. So they are alleging like 9 areas of misconduct in addition to like wrongful termination. The third dancer resigned because of how the other dancers were treated and because of how she was treated. So she wasn't fired. She resigned. So trigger warning, we do talk about sexual harassment. But some of these claims, right, are against like Lizzo, her dance captain, and the company, Big Girl, Big Touring Inc., right? Mm-hmm. Some claims are made by all three of the dancers and others are only made by individual ones. But basically, the allegations come down to a hostile work environment that featured sexual harassment, failure to prevent or remedy said sexual harassment, and a failure to prevent or remedy religious harassment in the workplace. Those are the big 3.
Okay, but you're missing the
body shaming.
You're missing
but that's
the
a part
headline.
Of the hostile. That's part of the hostile work environment.
This is how I got, and it shows about. It says a lot about our attention span and what we care about as a society.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, all I saw in the headlines were Lizzo fat shames her dancers and fires them. And as you know, we all know her whole brand is body positivity and being accepting your body and accepting your body as the way it is, and especially for big-bodied people and fat people. To hear that Lizzo is fat shaming people is pretty jarring, and I think there's a dissociation with who Lizzo is as a brand and I guess who she is as a person.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, because even with the sex positivity doesn't mean I'm so open about my sexuality that I'm going to force it on you. Yeah. The fact that this person who is body positive, sex positive, is facing a lawsuit by her former employees claiming that she fat shamed them, that she sexually harassed them is like mind-blowing.
I think it's crazy because I know a lot of people like on the internet are making fun of it because it's just like, how are you going to go out and preach body positivity and then fat shame people? Well, you're also big bodied and fat. I don't understand how that makes sense. And didn't the dancers say that they got fired on basis of gaining weight? So how does that make sense?
So basically, let me start off by saying that a lot of them felt that their employment was precarious. And that they had to comply with requests that made them uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's just start with the ones of a sexual nature, right? The big news on that, the big revelation was they went to the red light district in New Amsterdam, which is where sex work is
where
legal.
You go for team bonding at work, right? You're like, what are we doing this week for team bonding?
Sex club.
Can you imagine your employer be like, you either do this or you go to work? You know, have you ever had like forced team bonding at work? Yes. And people at work listen to this, so I'm sorry. But
I'd gladly talk about the forced team bonding at my old job.
There's always people that are upset, right? Like, we're gonna go to a skating ring. I don't want to go. But imagine your boss is like, you're going to the sex club or team bonding, and if you don't come, that means you're not dedicated to your job.
Exactly. And that's what it was. So they went. So here's how. I've never been to Amsterdam, never been to the red light district, but have done a lot of research, like actual like college research on sex trafficking and sex work, whatever. Anyways, so how it works is they have these clubs and you can watch basically like live performances of people having sex and doing sexual acts.
Whoa.
Yes.
What?
And you can participate.
What? No.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
And this is legal?
In Amsterdam.
I knew that. Okay, I knew that, but I didn't know the extent of it. I knew like prostitution is legal in Amsterdam, which has its own issues. I saw a documentary how even though it's legal, it doesn't mean the people that are on there are actually doing it willingly. And apparently 98% of the women that are there are not there with their own sheer will. They've been forced to be there. Which,
and that was basically the conclusion of my research, that legalizing sex work does not prevent sex trafficking. Anywho.
Yeah.
So there's one club that's very famous called Banana Hammer, something like that. Banana Hammer.
This is so uncomfortable.
This is going to be very graphic. I'm so sorry.
Dude, even like, just hold on there, right? Even going out with coworkers, right? And going to a restaurant or somewhere where, or not a restaurant, but like somewhere where it's like an activity that is out of the norm. You don't want to show your real self to your coworkers, first of all. Like, y'all are never going to know what I'm like when y'all are not around, okay? And for you to force me to do that, absolutely not. And I'm sure they felt compelled because Lizzo is this big name and she's their boss.
I think too, celebrities just tend to have this like God complex of like, you do as I say or you don't have a job anymore.
And I think they also, because they have nobody around them, like their actual friends, everybody they have as friends, quote unquote, are their employees.
And they're yes people.
Because they have to be like, why wouldn't you do it for a bag, right? Like you have to keep your paycheck, but to them, they don't see that. They're like, oh, they're my friend. And they just cross certain boundaries because they think they're friends when they're not. You're their employer. Like, how does that not make sense to you?
Yeah. So I'm going to read this. I'm reading this from Vox that summarizes basically what the claims are. And they do it in a very professional way. So basically, some of the requests, the things that the dancers are claiming that Lizzo pressured them into doing when at this sex club. One, they had to attend performances with nude dancers in Amsterdam, eat bananas placed in nude dancers' genitals, and one of the dancers was pressured to actually like touch one of the dancers' breasts. So it's like, it feels collegey, like fraternity, like, oh, go slap the stripper, go do the, oh yeah, go get, like, you know what I mean? So that's what they said happened.
I'm sorry, like I'm speechless and my mouth is hanging open right now.
You didn't know about this?
I knew, like I hadn't read through the whole, like it's the banana.
Oh, there was other stuff too that these dancers did, like shoot projectile objects out of their genitals. Yeah.
Impressive. But
very impressive. But I don't want to go to a show like that
with my
coworkers.
and be forced to participate.
That's the thing. It's one thing like we're all gonna go, haha, watch, whatever.
That is bad.
But then to pressure your dancers or your employees into participating.
And this is alleged, or it hasn't been. Okay,
alleged.
It hasn't gone to court yet.
This
right?
is what's in the lawsuit. We don't know if this is officially true or not. Lizzo denies.
I feel like how can you? Lizzo denied all this.
I'll read to you her statement.
Okay.
But the other allegation. The other allegations were tied to religious harassment. So this came more from the dance captain. Her last name is Quigley. I don't remember her first name.
Oh, the religious one.
Yeah. So she spoke extensively about her religious views as a Christian, berated those who didn't share those beliefs, and one of the dancers, their virginity was frequently discussed without her consent. And that dancers were pressured to participate in group Christian prayer regardless of their religious beliefs.
I saw that the dance captain, she was constantly talking about she was talking about how she was Christian. She's like, did not believe in premarital sex, but also constantly brought up the other dancers' virginity and also constantly talked about just extreme sexual things in general.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did Lizzo have to say about all this?
Let me get to the fat shaming, and then I'll tell you.
Fat shaming, yes, of course. How can we forget the headline?
Yeah. So another part of the suit highlights concerns that Lizzo had allegedly expressed about one of the dancers' struggles on tour, including comments perceived by the dancer as thinly veiled concerns about weight gain. And Lizzo apparently had like made other remarks about her weight. And it made the dancer feel self-conscious, and like she had to talk about like her weight essentially.
Have you ever seen her show? I think it's on Amazon Prime. It's called Big Girls. And it's all about that. It's about how all her dancers are big girls, and, you know, they're big body and they're fat, and she embraces them, and, you know, they have this great stamina. Just because you're fat doesn't mean you can't dance and you can be.
Yeah.
So it's surprising to hear that, especially the fat shaming, if that is true, and if that was the basis of firing somebody.
Yeah.
I feel like if somebody has been loyal enough, I heard that. I don't know if you got that part where she made them re-audition for 12 hours.
I was about to get that.
Okay.
I was about to get to that. So the other thing was that after they got the job, she launched a surprise audition where that same dancer
That's so awful.
ended up soiling herself because she felt like her job was in jeopardy if she stepped out.
So it was a 12 hours straight dancing, and
Yeah.
no bathroom breaks,
She
no
felt that her
food
job,
break.
Yeah, she felt that her job was in jeopardy if she left to relieve herself.
Allegedly.
And she soiled herself.
I don't want to get sued.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
Allegedly multiple.
Allegedly.
Allegedly times 100.
She allegedly was concerned for her job, and so she allegedly soiled herself and allegedly was given transparent shorts to change into. Allegedly.
What?
Allegedly.
This is insane.
So that's why this lawsuit is just so bananas, because this goes against like everything, like the whole public persona of Lizzo. So I'm going to get to a few things. Here's Lizzo's statement. She denies. Okay. She says, you know, it's been gut-wrenchingly difficult and overwhelmingly disappointing the last few days. She chooses not to respond to false allegations, but these are as unbelievable as they sound and too outrageous to not be addressed. She said, these sensationalized stories are coming from former employees who have already publicly admitted that they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional. Plot thickens. Blah, 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 stuff about being an artist. Sometimes I have to make hard decisions, but it's never my intention to make anyone feel uncomfortable or like they aren't valued as an important part of the team. I am not here to be looked at as a victim, but I also know that I am not the villain that people in the media have portrayed me to be these last few days. I'm very open with my sexuality and expressing myself, but I cannot accept or allow people to use that openness to make me out to be something I am not. There is nothing I take more seriously than the respect we deserve as women in the world. I know what it feels like to be body shamed on a daily basis and would absolutely never criticize or terminate an employee because of their weight. That was part of the wrongful termination allegation.
Interesting.
But I'm hurt, but I will not let the good work I've done in the world to be overshadowed by this. I want to thank everyone who has reached out in support to lift me up during this difficult time. So she denies. What's interesting,
Deny,
is that two other former employees, they have not joined the lawsuit, but they have spoken out on social media. Lizzo's former creative director and documentary filmmaker spoke out against Lizzo on her Instagram story.
The Big Girls documentary? No, no.
No.
That's a different. The one where she was crying, and I know what you're talking about. There's another documentary.
Love Lizzo.
Yeah, Love Lizzo. Yes, that's what it's called. Okay.
So Sophia Nahali Allison said she underwent mistreatment while she was briefly the director of that documentary. She said, in 2019, I traveled a bit with Lizzo to be the director of her documentary. I walked away after about 2 weeks. I was treated with such disrespect by her.
Wow.
She called Lizzo arrogant, self-centered, and unkind.
Wow. Oh my God. That's so crazy.
She said, I was not protected and was thrown into a shitty situation with little support. My spirit said to run as fast as you effing can, and I'm so grateful I trusted my gut. I felt gaslit and was deeply hurt, but I've healed.
Oh my God.
So that's what she said.
Dude, it's just so crazy because I remember after I went through a concert, right? I was telling people how that concert was so not only fun, but it was kind of, she has this whole moment in the concert where she does therapy with the whole crowd, where she talks about body positivity, and you just feel so good, and you feel, I genuinely went away from that concert thinking, oh my god, Lizzo is such a cool person, such a nice person, and Lizzo just really cares about the people around her. Because in the crowd there was somebody holding a sign that was saying, I'm a big, I can't remember. I think there was somebody in the crowd on the floor had a sign that said, I'm a big bodied model. You helped me get through that. And now I'm working as a model. And you basically, what's it called?
That's a long sign.
It was like the one that, it was like an iPad. So it kept like going. You read it. I was like, oh, you helped me get through bullying in high school. And now I'm a model. And Lizzo read the sign and she told her people that, go to that person and you need to give me your information and I'm going to help you with your career. So I'm just like, wow, this person, I'm like, maybe she was a plan, but I don't know.
Maybe.
But now I was like, oh my God, Lizzo's so great. And hearing all this is just so crazy to me, because I can't even think of Lizzo fat shaming people or saying people that people have to dance for 12 hours until they soil themselves, so they can prove that they can do the job that they have been doing for
allegedly
2 years. Allegedly.
Last two things. Another former dancer who's not a part of the lawsuit said on Instagram, very much my experience in my time there. And then her former creative director, Quinn Whitney Wilson, she supported the dancers, saying, I haven't been a part of that world for around 3 years for a reason. I very much applaud the dancers.
There's multiple accounts of people saying all this. If this is all a lie, it has to be some complicated and intricate
lie.
Yeah.
So Lizzo not only denied, but she is intending to sue back. And apparently her lawyers dropped a photo. And it shows Lizzo's accusers, these are his words, happily carousing and gleefully reveling backstage with the performers from a topless cabaret show in Paris during Lizzo's tour.
Oh, that's low. What, they sent that picture out for the public to see?
To TMZ.
Can I see it?
Yeah. I mean, it's the here. The people in the wigs are the topless dancers.
Okay.
And it points out who the plaintiffs are.
So this is the same night or something?
No,
I don't think it matters, but
it was a month after.
Oh, okay.
Well, the incident in Amsterdam.
Okay, just because you consented, I'm not saying just because there's a picture that they consented. Just because you consented one time doesn't mean that what happened didn't happen.
Well, also, my thing is, okay, how many times have we as women have been in uncomfortable situations and then just like smiled?
Oh, yeah.
And got through it. How many times have we laughed at a joke that wasn't funny? How many times did someone come on to us very, very strongly and we had to be polite and like, oh.
And also there's alcohol involved. So you're like, okay, maybe I'm just drunk and I'm not really, this wasn't as bad as I think it is at the moment.
I just don't think a picture proves anything.
Yeah.
But it seemed low.
Yeah, it's slow to like put a picture out and be like, see, but they have a picture together. Why would they take a picture if they? It's like saying, but you could have just said no and walked out anytime you wanted, but you can't, because, I mean, this is the company you work for. That's your boss right there telling you what to do.
Yeah.
You have no other means of income or insurance or anything.
And they already said that they felt that their employment with Lizzo felt like precarious.
Yeah.
That they had to participate in things otherwise.
Yeah. And this is a personal thing, but even like, I mean, I've been like, like in the theater world or like, in the music world, like on a very lower basis, like at a very lower scale. And even then, people like are on a power trip for no reason. And they want you to do like weird shit. And even, I remember when I was in a community college, I had like a whole professor that would make people do weird stuff. And he eventually took him like 10 years to get fired.
Yeah.
So imagine being Lizzo and having all that power. And maybe she doesn't even think that's wrong, allegedly.
Allegedly.
I don't know. This is so sad and disheartening, and I don't know. I just can't believe it. But also, if I don't believe it, then I have to justify it in a way that, all these people are coming together. Even people who are not suing her. Those are the people that are actually shocking because they don't have anything in it.
No, they're speaking out on social media. And the lawyer who filed the lawsuit representing the three dancers had said earlier in the month, more people might be joining, but we don't know yet. So for me, allegedly, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Should I put like a little...
Allegedly.
I should put like in, just like cut it out like that part and then put it every single minute in the video in the podcast. Allegedly.
If you want to. Whatever doesn't get us sued. We
don't have money. Please don't sue us.
Please.
If we had money, we wouldn't be called amateurs. Think about that. You're wasting your time.
Yeah, we're literally like sitting in my house, AC shut off because don't have high production value here.
We were sitting on the floor till yesterday. We just got a new chair, so now we sit on the chair.
Anyways, but this is big because, this is not the public persona that Lizzo, has made for herself. And this is really disheartening to hear.
Yeah.
And I think, this raises concerns about the industry in general, how dancers are not protected, how there are such crazy power imbalances. And the news recently was that I think, how many months was it? I don't remember. 6 months before, here it is. 6 months before the Lizzo lawsuit, 14 dancers who appeared in the HBO documentary settled a dispute over payments. So apparently for that documentary, Love Lizzo, they filmed some of her dancers like talking about like being body shamed and all of that. And they never, according to the dancers, never consented to being filmed or having that film used in the documentary. They said that was a very vulnerable conversation. And so they had filed a lawsuit over
this is
payments.
A separate lawsuit.
This was separate.
Separate people? Different people?
I don't know. That I don't know.
Okay.
I can look it up.
Okay.
I can look it up.
I'm sure it is because those people probably signed an NDA then.
Probably.
After you settle something, you sign an NDA that you
For
don't
me,
want to talk about it.
What I'm surprised by is that, allegedly she intends to sue back.
Allegedly.
And I don't know, if I was a celebrity and I had all this money to throw around, I'd go settle.
Yeah.
I'd avoid the public scrutiny.
I think, after, especially like we saw the whole Johnny Depp thing, right? I think something that money can buy nowadays is an image. And what she wants to do is clear her image. And you can throw as much money. We saw with that YouTuber, Colleen Ballinger, that she's, talking grooming children. And she hired Epstein's lawyer. And that's just bad image. She can throw as much money at these lawyers as she wants. Her image is already ruined. And I'm sure what's going to happen is this is going to try to clear her image and paint these people as liars. Probably the lawyers are going to really go after them. Poke hole in their story and bring up their past and be like, this person is maybe promiscuous or something like that.
Or they were bad dancers. They showed up drunk. They were this. They were unprofessional. Yeah.
Allegedly. But yeah, it's pretty disheartening. I think it's just awful. It's just so crazy.
I guess that's true. Yeah, about the image thing.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter to me because
you're not nobody.
You're like nobody.
Oh, my image is ruined. I don't give a fuck. I mean, there is ground like if let's say a dancer's losing stamina because obviously you have a dance like 3 hours, 2 hour show, right? They're losing stamina because of their health or their diet or whatever. That if this person has been employed for however many years with you, I feel like there is better ways to handle that than making them soil themselves for 12 hours or whatever. And actually looking within and be like, do they need a dietitian or do they... And I'm just speaking from top of my head because I'm just like, okay, if a dancer that used to have like really good choreography and stamina, something happened, what happened and that how can we fix that before...
How can I support?
Before, especially since you had all that money that they're also helping you make, there should be some support.
I just don't understand. Again, not a celebrity. Not talented. Not. Do you remember
when she tried to sell? She got under fire a few years back. Lizzo got under fire a few years back when she tried to sell us a detox tea, which is basically a laxative.
I remember she said that she was on a detox cleanse or something. I don't know. I don't remember her.
Yeah, something like that, right? And people came were like, "Oh, like you're supposed to be body positive," and then she's like, I never said that I was the face of body positivity. You guys just made me that because I'm fat." And I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense because, whatever. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just out of her brand. Not out of character because I don't know her, but not her brand.
For sure. And especially because, I mean, like, she's been everywhere with these dancers. I recognize the dancers.
Yeah.
Okay. The only other dancers I recognize are Beyonce's dancers. Okay. Like, and so if I recognize Lizzo's dancers, that's saying something because I don't care about other people except for Beyonce. And so to me, that's wild.
You're so grumpy towards famous people.
What can I say?
Okay. Now that we put Miss Lizzo aside, and just send us on Instagram what you think about Lizzo, we're going to move on to what is happening with Miss Ariana Grande.
Can I just
Miss
say,
Universe.
I never liked her.
You're like, I knew something was wrong with her.
She was weird.
I mean, every 2 years she changes her race. She changes her race. That makes sense. We should have known. Do you remember when she was in that music video with Nicki Minaj, Side to Side?
Yeah.
And she was like darker than Nicki Minaj because her tan was so dark.
So ridiculous. She also grew up in my hometown.
Oh.
Boca Raton, Florida.
Florida? She's a Florida man?
She's from Boca Raton, yeah.
Oh my God, we don't even need this podcast. I just found out why she's the way she is. She's a Florida man.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so what happened to Ariana Grande? What's the drama? So Ariana Grande is receiving a lot of heat for dating her Wicked co-star Ethan Slater. You may ask why? Oh, because they are both married. Well, not anymore, but at the time.
Allegedly.
No, not allegedly. They were actually married, Nico.
Allegedly.
Not allegedly.
I'm just kidding.
We cannot get sued for a fact. These are facts. So Ethan was playing the character of Bach in Wicked, and Ariana Grande is one of the main leads, Glinda. And Ethan is famous for playing SpongeBob in SpongeBob the Musical.
The Broadway musical. I just want to be very clear because people kept saying he was SpongeBob, and I'm like, no, he's not.
No, SpongeBob the Musical on Broadway.
That doesn't
I think
count for
that
me.
came out like recently in the past 5 years.
Whatever.
Anyways, so very two different worlds, and Ariana Grande was married to Dalton Gomez for the past 2 years.
Who?
He's like a normal guy.
Okay.
He's a realtor, like he's a luxury real estate agent. Okay. But he's a normal person,
Not on Selling Sunset or one of those crazy shows.
He's not on any TV shows, but I think he was selling that high end.
Okay.
I think he was her realtor at one point and then that's how they met.
Scandal. Okay.
I don't think that's a scandal.
I know,
okay,
but
whatever. This is a scandal. So fans are upset that they both are married. So July 25, 2023. News emerges of Ariana Grande's split from husband Dalton Gomez and her reported relationship with Ethan Slater, her Wicked co-star. So at the same time that they're announcing that they're together, she's like, oh, I'm divorcing my husband and we've been separated since January. So they met in 2020, I believe, and they've been married for a year. So people dig into this, and the scandal is that Ethan was also married to and has a baby with Lily J. And they've been in a relationship for 10 years.
Oh my God. Wasn't she 10 months postpartum when this whole thing?
Something like that. The when the baby was born, it's not public. We don't know. But in November last year, he did post that she's such a great mother, and there was their anniversary. And then on Mother's Day recently, so supposedly he's saying that they've been on a break for so many months. But on Mother's Day, which is when's Mother's Day? May, right?
Yeah, May.
So right now it's August, right? And Ethan and Ariana said that they were together in July, but in May he posted this whole thing about Mother's Day, about how she's a great mother and he loves parenting with her and blah blah blah, just like an homage to his baby's mama, and his wife. So things are not adding up, right? And then people do their little digging because we're nosy and we don't have anything to do.
Right, we're not facing an economic crisis or recession or rising costs or global.
We don't care about those things. Have you not learned anything about who gives a fuck about aliens? This Ariana Grande is cheating on people.
I'm just saying we have nothing else to do.
There's bigger things to do. Lizzo's fat shaming people. Ariana Grande is cheating on people. Aliens can fuck themselves. I don't care.
So as people start digging, what did they find?
So people start digging and they find out that Ariana Grande is a serial homewrecker.
Oh, I've heard this theory. This has been floating around for a while.
Okay, I'll once you will be shocked when I tell you this whole thing, right? That every relationship, almost every single relationship Ariana Grande has been, she has either cheated on someone or the person she's with is cheating on someone else.
With her.
With her. So that's why people are against her. And look, when you're, I'm never the one to blame the woman, right? Or be like, or the person that was single that is, and the person that was married and, they're having an affair. I feel like the person that has a child and is married has a bigger responsibility than the person that's single. I'm not saying they're not both wrong, but one person has an oath to keep. But both of these people were married. So yeah, they're both trash. Anyways, so fans call Ariana Grande a serial homewrecker. Ethan was married to Lily J and they had their baby last year. Ethan claims he and his wife have been separated for a while. They were high school sweethearts and have been married since 2018, a decade-long relationship. Ariana Grande goes on and announces that Dalton and her separated in January 2023 due to scheduling issues. For Wicked, you ask, what are these scheduling issues? He would call her, allegedly. He would call her and she's like, sorry, I'm on vocal rest. But she's like living in London to film Wicked and he's all the way back home and he's like, oh, so she won't talk to him. And she's like, but there's scheduling conflict. We just grew apart. And meanwhile, she's like cooking something with Ethan Slater, which this man is married with a baby. I don't understand how men have time to do that. Like,
I do. Sexism.
You literally just had a baby and you have time to go get chummies with America's pop star who's like, I don't know, 4'11" and 100 pounds. Be fucking for real. Like, look at your face, first of all. Sorry, I'm kind of mean. God. But he's ugly, whatever.
Yeah, I don't get it. Would not wreck my marriage for that.
On November, when he posted that tribute for his wife, Ariana Grande liked that Instagram post on the anniversary. And last year, so it says last year, Ethan Slater and Lily J welcomed their first child. So let me break you down the history of breakups and alleged cheating scandals timeline. 2012, Ariana Grande is dating Jay Brooks. 2013, Jay Brooks goes online, accuses Ariana for cheating on him with Nathan Sykes, right? This is like, whatever, they're teenagers, like, childhood love is stupid anyways, who cares? 2012, she meets Mac Miller, and we all know the famous, like, Ariana and Mac Miller, like, they were in love and everything. 2013 reports suggest that Mac Miller cheated on his girlfriend, Nomi, with Ariana after collaborating on a song. And the girlfriend alleges this. She's like, he cheated on me with Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande in 2014 is dating rapper Big Sean. Immediately after he splits from Naya River.
I remember this.
2016, Naya River says in her book that she wrote that Big Sean cheated on her with Ariana Grande. And she walked in her home and she saw Ariana Grande sitting there with a Big Sean.
May she rest in peace.
Yeah. In 2018, Nomi confirmed, so this is the Mac Miller's ex-girlfriend. Nomi confirmed Mac Miller's cheating in a Tumblr post without naming Ariana Grande. She said, yeah, Mac Miller cheated on me. So with Ariana Grande. 2018, Ariana Grande rumored to have cheated on Mac Miller with SNL comedian Pete Davidson. This one, she denies this one. She said, I never cheated on Mac. She went on a Vogue interview because people were like being mean and blaming her for his death, which I don't think is fair.
That's not fair at all.
Yeah, but she went to Vogue and she's like, I never cheated. I loved Mac, whatever. Sure, I'll give her that one. I think I believe her for that one. But, okay, 2018, Pete Davidson went on a break with Cassie David. He was dating somebody else. 2018, Cassie David realized she didn't want to break. So Pete and they were supposedly on a break. And Pete immediately ends their relationship via text. And through Instagram, the former girlfriend finds out that he's with Ariana Grande. Oh my God, this girl, she works fast. Okay. Same year, not only did Pete Davidson and her start dating, but they got engaged after he broke off things with his girlfriend. And then And then they broke it off the same year. Because Mac Miller died, so she was in a bad state, and she just broke off her engagement. In 2019, TMZ reports Ariana's again with Big Sean were getting cozy in a studio together while he's dating Jenny Aiko. I think that's how you say it. Janae Aiko.
Yeah.
So he's again Big Sean. He's a cheater too. So 2019, Ariana's song "Break Up with Your Girlfriend, I'm Bored." Do you know the song?
Yeah.
Break up with your girlfriend, yeah, 'cause I'm bored. That's the other thing. People are like, we should have known. Like, she's literally saying it.
Yeah.
2020, Ariana's relationship with Dalton Gomez, is the realtor guy, went public. So they met during quarantine. They quarantined together. And then in 2020, the same year, Dalton Gomez's ex-girlfriend, Ricky Barton, I think she's also a normal person, posted a cryptic photo on Instagram and said, "When you see your ex with the person they told you to not worry about."
Oh my God.
Yes! And now we're here. She cheated on Dalton, allegedly, with Ethan Slater, SpongeBob the Musical. SpongeBob. She left this guy for SpongeBob. And, like, you can go look this up. Like, this guy was cute. Like, Dalton was cute.
I remember.
He was a cutie. He was like a normal looking Pete Davidson. Like, Pete Davidson has, like, you know, he looks like he's been through it, but he just looks like a very prim and proper. He's very nice looking. And Ethan Slater, dear God, like, you have to give a trigger warning to look at his face. I'm sorry. Is that mean? He's a cheater, so it doesn't matter. It's okay. I can get canceled for this. I don't have a career.
Also, who cares?
So Ethan Slater alleges that he has been separated from his wife for a while, and he files for divorce. The wife comes out and breaks her silence. And she says the fact that they've been separated is news to her.
Shut up.
Yes.
Oh my God.
She said this is news to her that they're separated. She's devastated and she is blindsided. And she said, this is my favorite quote from her: "Ariana is not a girl's girl."
Oh my God.
Yeah, so she's like, she wants to move on from this, and she knows she's gonna have to be a single mom, and she hopes to just like provide for her child or on her own, even if he doesn't support her, because she's just like heartbroken. She also alleges that Ariana Grande had come out with the couple multiple times, hung out with them, went to dinner with them, held their baby, and then had professed, allegedly, that she always had wanted kids of her own.
She's allegedly a sick fuck. My God. You're hanging out with the wife
the
of
person you're having the affair with, his baby and his wife.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Sick.
So he's filed for divorce. He's filed for divorce from her immediately after the announcement was made that he's with Ariana Grande. You know, divorce finalized, and then reports break out that Ariana Grande is giving space to Ethan Slater. Literally the same week. To, you know, figure out his marital crisis, whatever. But also, apparently, Lily and the baby also visited Ethan on set in London multiple times, where Ariana spent time with them.
Is it bad that a part of me hopes that the Wicked movie like bombs, even though the guy from Bridgerton, what's his name, Jonathan Bailey, is in it, and I love him and I want him to have a successful career, but a part of me really wants this movie to bomb.
We'll see. As of early August, it was reported that Ariana Grande is giving Slater space to figure out his divorce and tie up some loose ends. The two are still dating, allegedly. The internet has gone nuts. And they're calling out Ariana Grande. They're making all these compilations of her breaking marriages and girlfriend and boyfriends and engagements, whatever. And they're also making compilations of Ethan as SpongeBob. Saying, the other theory so people are saying Ethan looks exactly like her brother, Frankie. And I'm going to show you a picture. You tell me. Because when I saw this picture, I was like, what the fuck? Spot the difference.
When I first accidentally saw that picture, I thought it was the same person. I'm not lying to you.
Yes. So when somebody showed me this picture first, I was like, why are you showing me two pictures of the same person? But no, the blonde one, that's her brother. And I think, see, I still can't tell. I think the blonde one is her brother. The other one is Ethan Slater. And they look like exactly the same.
No, they look eerily similar.
Exactly the same person. We'll post this on our Instagram. I don't know if we're gonna get sued for that. I don't care. No, I do care. I won't post it.
Maybe we really should consider consulting with a lawyer.
Anyways, the brother has now come out and says he supports their relationship.
Of course he'll say that.
He's like, he looks just like me. I love him.
Oh my God.
Okay, well, thoughts, concerns?
I mean, when I first heard about this, I'll tell you something funny. I asked Omer. I was like, would you leave me for Ariana Grande?
Oh my God. Don't let her know that.
And his first response was, she's weird. Like, so that wasn't a no. That wasn't a no.
He's like, under dire circumstances, maybe.
Oh my God. No. He'd probably leave me for Margot Robbie. But to be fair, I'd leave me for Margot Robbie too.
Dude, first of all, this man ruined 10 years worth of a relationship that this woman and him built up together. For someone who's literally a chronic cheater, has been known for not being able to keep relationships.
Yeah.
Are you like a moron? Like, what's going on? What's going on in this man? That's the thing, Have you heard? I forgot what this theory is called. It's like when a guy like gets with a hot girl, he thinks he's hot or something. When he's not. He doesn't. He needs to look in the mirror and be like, "Oh, it's really not about me. She just like the thrill of it."
That's the thing. Like, what gets to me is like, I always say, where there's smoke, there's fire. But also, when you see a pattern, when people show you who they are, you should believe them. And I'm sorry, but there's a pattern.
Yeah.
There's a pattern.
Since 2012,
allegedly.
Publicly, at least,
We should just retitle our whole podcast.
The alleged podcast.
Yeah. Amateur podcast, and then in parentheses, allegedly.
Don't try to take a shot every time you say allegedly. You'll probably pass out and end up in the hospital.
Probably. Don't do this drinking game with this episode.
Unless you want to.
No. No, yeah, but that's so concerning. Like, I mean, concerning, it's just gross. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's nasty.
Yep.
The fact that she hung out
with the baby and the wife. Even, let's say, in the bestest scenario, that they weren't cheating and everything they say is true. Even in that scenario, there has to be some kind of kindling romance between the two, right? Mm-hmm. Even if it's just thoughts. Mm-hmm. For you to go and like hang out with the mom and the baby and come on. Well, you're not a girl's girl.
Yeah. I think too, like, I mean, there's a thing where like some people purposefully go after like married individuals.
I think that's what it is. I think it's a thrill of it because
the thrill of breaking up
looking
something.
at these two people, Ariana and him, like I genuinely believe like people go for people that are like, people say like, oh, this person's out of my league, but I've never actually seen that, unless there's money involved, when like somebody's really rich and somebody's just really hot, then that makes sense because the world is weird. But anyways, people usually go for people that are same attraction level, a lover to higher or lower, not Ariana Grande, mega pop star, the epitome of like whatever beauty. She's Glinda on Broadway. No, not on Broadway, on this movie, which is known for her prettiness. And SpongeBob, come on. It's the thrill of it. I'm not being mean. I guess I am being mean, but I'm not saying I couldn't, like at my hotness right now, I could not land. I don't know. Who's the hottest guy you can think of?
Jesus.
Michael B. Jordan. He's not gonna date me,
Or like think of someone whose marriage you could break, like Cillian Murphy, right?
Yeah.
No way. No way.
Yeah.
That guy'd look at me and be like, "You little goblin." What?
There's a way of doing things in this world. Okay? There's rules and regulations.
There has to be.
There's laws
a rhyme
of
or reason. So it has to be the thrill of it.
The thrill of it.
That's all That's all I can think of.
Mm-hmm. Like the thrill of I think she likes just the thrill of like having a forbidden romance,
Not just that, but I think too, you must feel so valuable
and powerful
if you take a man who has been with the same person for 10 years,
has a child
with them, and you can make them leave all of that for you. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty powerful feeling.
Mm-hmm. And I'd be like, I'm giving him space. Which, in my head, I'm like, did she just break up with him already? It's already over or something? But they're still dating, supposedly, but whatever.
Allegedly.
Ugh, it's just like, it gave me the egg. Do you remember when she licked the donuts in that shop?
Yeah.
Yeah, and people were like after her, and then I was like, oh my god, and she was just like apologize for it. But it just shows there's a pattern of just disregard for other people.
Yeah.
And disregard for the regulations of society, honestly, I would say. Like, you just don't do that. You just don't break a family like that. And then I guess you can do that and then be accepting that you're a bad person, right? I mean, he's a bad person too. I'm not saying that, but
what I think it's funny is you have this pattern of behavior. This is a gross story that's come out. You know what? Out with it. We were just talking about Succession, right? And how your favorite character is Roman because he's at least not delusional into thinking that he's a good person and doesn't even try to convince
You're outing
people.
Me like this? Telling everybody my favorite character is Roman. Guys, I have an explanation for this, okay?
But when Roman's funny, but there's just something about like just being honest. Like, yeah, I'm a crappy person. Yeah, this happened. We're in love. Or, you know,
I'm a cheater skeeter.
Whatever. Who cares, right? But the fact that you're trying to gaslight people into like, thinking that you're a good person and that you were separated.
And this and that. And when your significant others didn't know you were separated.
I mean, Taylor Swift ran with that snake narrative, you know, and milked it for all it was worth.
Well, Taylor also like tells in her music that she did cheat on people and she's very obvious about it. So,
but that's what I'm saying. I mean, you know, just like
me and Taylor are good again. Don't worry about it.
Oh my god,
I'm already back on the bandwagon. I watched every single video of her in Mexico. I love her again.
What's weird about Ariana Grande is that so much of her kind of persona has felt like infantilizing almost. Like, look at me, I'm this cute innocent little girl and like blah blah blah.
She's from Nickelodeon.
Yeah. And then, you know, it's like she's still trying to keep up with this appearance. And it's like, you're 30. This isn't cute anymore.
I think Paris Hilton said at one time that when you're a celebrity, the age that you became famous, you're forever frozen in that mental state. You never grow. Because to grow, you need to have consequences and you need to have, you know, things need to happen to you or like your life has to develop and you're basically frozen. So I mean, she got famous when she was like 14 or something.
Yeah.
Maybe she's just, I don't know. I don't want to diagnose her or anything, but I'm just saying, like, maybe she just doesn't understand the severity of this.
Or just doesn't deep down care because she's, well, if I want it, I got it. That's another one of her songs.
Okay, I'm impressed by you.
7 Rings.
That's a good song, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, Ari. What's going on? What's going on with Ari? I don't get it.
I mean, it's just gross. Like, that's the thing. I think, we're kind of in this era of like pop culture where people are getting really sick of bad behavior.
Yeah.
Of celebrities getting away with bad behavior.
Also, you're going to lose her the way you got her, girl. You know, like.
Yeah. But, you know, she's not the first celebrity to have like broken up a marriage. Julia Roberts, infamously very petty about it. But you know what? Julia Roberts was just outright petty. Okay. And like, we fell in love and had an affair. Big whoop, right? Like, shit. And she's still with that guy, right? So it's not the first one.
I don't think this one's gonna last.
No, me neither.
I don't think she cares.
Look at her track record.
Yeah,
it's not gonna last. But yeah, I think people are just tired of it, and they're just tired of celebrities like treating normal people like just like inconsequential, like disregarding.
Which celebrity's house would you break if it meant that you and him will be together?
Which celebrity relationship I would like to be the other woman in? I don't know, because honestly, they all seem like garbage. I'm not gonna lie. They all seem awful. And I think about the level of narcissism and like delusion, and I look at my husband and I'm like, this is much better.
But think about all the Chanel bags you can have.
Oh, Chanel. Well, that changes things. That's, you know.
Birkins, Chanel's,
I like
Dior's.
Kelly's more.
Whatever you want. So whose marriage are you breaking up?
Who are some famous celebrity? But then also like, okay, so maybe like 5 years ago, I would have been like, oh, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Well, now, no.
Yeah.
Wouldn't touch Brad Pitt with the 10-foot pole.
Isn't that funny that he's still single? That's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny. I think so too. And that his kids hate him. Allegedly. So, anywho, I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna go with George Clooney and Amal Clooney.
Oh,
He
look at you,
vacations.
little snake.
He vacations in Lake Como very frequently. I'd like to go there.
Look at you. Or you already planned vacations. Okay.
Yeah.
Good for
But I
you.
would never, because Amal is awesome. Actually, no. I would break up the marriage for Amal.
I'm doing this for you. You're a girl's girl. You can do better.
Yeah.
Let me have him when you do go better.
No,
do better.
no. I wouldn't go after George Clooney. I'd go after Amal.
Girl, do we need to talk about something else after this one?
She's a human rights lawyer. She is like well respected in the United Nations. Fuck that actor. He's just an actor.
So true. Okay.
What about you?
Who would I break up? Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, and I'll be with Blake Lively. She's tall and pretty and rich.
So surprised. Thought you were gonna say Taylor Swift and Maddie Healy.
They're not together.
I know, but I thought you were gonna say Taylor Swift.
Well, Blake Lively's best friends with Taylor Swift.
Oh.
So then I can go to dinners with Taylor Swift.
Oh
I
my
thought that through too.
Oh my god. Priorities. Nico wants to go to Lake Como.
Because I know if Blake and Ryan, they like break up, she's not going to talk to Ryan, but she will talk to Blake. They're besties. And they're best friends with Gigi Hadid. So I can get close to the Hadid sisters. Think about that. That's an amazing life.
What about, so no Ariana and Ethan?
Ew, no. Okay. Our outro is, would you rather get outed by the internet as someone who fat shames or a chronic cheater?
Do we answer that?
Yeah, you answer.
Chronic cheater.
You would rather be a chronic cheater than a fat shamer?
Cheaters get forgiven eventually.
That's a good one. I was going to say fat shamer, but now I think you're right.
No, in this current climate, I wouldn't want to be known as a shamer or anything. But a chronic cheater, I could always claim, oh, I have a sex addiction. I can always like...
You've thought this thing.
But because I've seen the playbook, Attia, for years. I'm like 6-7 years older than you.
It was an accident.
We fell in love. So
But it's a chronic cheater. It's not just one person. Like you're cheating on like Ariana Grande.
Sex addiction.
That's a good one. Okay.
But people forgive cheaters. People like bad boys. People like bad girls. Society tolerates cheaters.
Can I tell you my theory? I think something about cancel culture. I think if your talent outweighs what you did, you will survive.
For sure.
So what we have to figure out is whether Ariana and Lizzo's talent outweigh what they have done. And I'm saying that if Lizzo does not actually get into legal trouble, you know. I'm saying just like their image, you know. If you have more talent, which is kind of sad, you know, like you can do really shitty things and be really, really talented and get away with it.
So, yeah, we'll see. I'd rather be exposed as a chronic cheater because, like I said, I've seen it happen multiple times. No one cares.
It just
if
seems
you're
like so
no one
much
cares.
work, though. If I'm
I
actually
agree.
a cheater, like, God,
I agree.
that's like a lot.
I agree. Because the truth
The
is,
emotional stamina and the physical stamina.
for me, it's just like too much to manage. I'm lazy.
Yes.
I don't.
You would have
no.
to have multiple phones or something. How do you
Yeah.
do that? How do you juggle that? I'm just too lazy and I'm too grumpy. Like, you would have to pretend a lot, and I'm just too grumpy for that.
I am also just lying takes a lot of effort. I'd rather just tell the truth and get in trouble for it than lie, have to keep up with the lie, have to remember the lie, then have to say another lie to make up for the other lie. Ugh, and then I'm in a web of lies and I don't remember what is even true. Follow us on Instagram at amateur_popcast. And please send us emails. Let us know. Would you rather be exposed as a chronic cheater or as a fat shamer at amateurpopcast@gmail.com.